5 minutes.
Ali, I hope we would agree that if we can't admit there's a problem, we're not going to fix it. So now Canadians deserve honesty about how their taxpayer dollars are being spent and tracked. And recently, the federal government got a D rating for fiscal accountability from the C.D. Howe report. Do you agree with that grade?
Through you, Chair. Thank you for the question. I would ask my Deputy Minister to comment on this technical question, please. Thanks.
Certainly, Mr. Chair. So that rating is given to federal and provincial jurisdictions, and it's largely, in this case, based on the timeliness of documents as well as the quality. My understanding is the federal government does very well on the quality and comprehensiveness. We are behind some of our provincial colleagues in terms of how early public accounts and budgets have been tabled.
Unfortunately, if we don't own our failure, I don't know how we're going to promise reform. But Mr. Ali, I see public accounts as the government's final report card, the audited statement showing how much was really spent and earned. Now, last year's books were released in December, so 8 months late. When will you be tabling the public accounts for this year? Just a date.
Thank you. Chair, thank you for the question. We plan to table the public account in coming weeks, well in advance of the legislated tabling deadline, which is December 31st. Thank you.
So, Minister Ali, I hope you agree also that Canadians shouldn't have to wait months to find out what's going wrong. If families miss a mortgage, they can't just stay silent. So I don't think neither should the government. So will you set a standing rule, as was suggested in that C.D. Howe report, that any future delay must be publicly explained within 48 hours with a new date, yes or no?
Thank you for the question, Chair. Our government is committed to building a more open, accountable government. That's why we launched the Trust and Transparency Strategy to strengthen openness and rebuild confidence in our institutions.
So was that a yes then?
I can say that we're committed to building a more open and accountable government, and transparency is strengthened to openness and rebuild confidence in our institutions.
So that something like that would definitely be a great way to show transparency.
We're committed to transparency and accountability. That's what I can
Minister,
assure you.
Right now, Canadians need a PhD to find the bottom line. They want a clear front page summary, a simple table showing the big numbers up front instead of buried hundreds of pages deep. So a one-page at a glance means taxpayers, journalists, MPs, we can all see at a glance how much is coming in, how much is going out, and how deep we're in debt. So in the next budget, will the first 15 pages show a one-page at a glance, total revenue, total spending, deficit surplus, and debt, yes or no?
Chair, through you, thank you for the question. My colleagues just want to remind you, you cannot have one pager of the household budget. This is we're talking about country's budget. So these public accounts will be tabled well ahead of their deadline, and it will be detailed and it will be public. Thank you.
So right now, parliamentarians and Canadians actually can't tell if the government's staying on budget. And a side-by-side table, for instance, in the Fiscal Monitor would make it easy for us to see when spending is off track. Will the Fiscal Monitor actually include a side-by-side versus the original budget, so for revenue, spending, and balance, yes or no?
I'd just like to remind my colleagues, we have rules and we have regulations, and legislation says it's December 31st is a deadline to table public accounts. So we will have well in advance the legislated deadline, the public accounts, but I'd like to
I'm really short on my time, so I have a number of questions yet. Minister, especially on transparency and accountability, the difference between what was promised in the budget and what actually happened was far too big last year. Would you agree?
Again, I think it's a new timeline of presenting a budget. I think this will streamline more. It'll give more clarity
So do you agree, yes or no?
We would have main estimate ahead of time. And
Do
then
you
budget.
agree, yes or no, was my question?
I could based on facts, what we have there. It's not about my opinion,
Thank
what
you
we have
very
in
much.
legislation.
That is our time.
Got it. Mr. Ali, I have a question for you. What is the salary amount for the CEO of the Defense Investment Agency?
Thank you, Chair, for the question. I would pass it on to my deputy for that technical question.
I've seen it in the media, but TBS does not actually, Treasury Board Secretary does not have a role in the salary determination for people appointed in those positions. We are the broader public service, the executives and the non-executive members.
In the media, sir.
I've seen ranges up around $700,000, but I do not know if that's accurate.
Is that the highest salary available for an appointee?
Again, Treasury Board Secretary is not involved in those determinations, so I cannot really give you good answers on these questions.
So you had no role to play whatsoever in this?
The Treasury Board Secretary does not.
Okay. What's the relationship going to look like between the DIA and the Treasury Board going forward?
I think DIA is it's an agency within the departments, and we have the rules in place and regulations across all agencies, and same rule applies to every organization.
Oh, okay. So your colleague, the Secretary of National Defense, says that the agency will deal with all purchases over $100 million. On the approvals process, he said, and I quote here, "We don't have to go to the Treasury Board a million times. We can just do it." Does this mean that you will no longer have oversight on this?
That doesn't say, through you, Chair, that there's no oversight. Of course, Treasury Board has an oversight policy implementation. But in defense, we have committed to making historic investment to secure our border and secure sovereignty. Since I came into Treasury Board, I am trying to streamline the process, to remove the barriers, to cut the waiting time so we can process more quickly, and we should be able to provide quicker the tools to our armed forces so they can protect our borders and secure our sovereignty. But that doesn't mean that we don't have oversight. Thank you.
I'm glad you answered that, sir, because the Secretary of Defense went on to say that we are going to move at the speed of relevance to meet the moment. And from your perspective, you're saying you're going to have relevance. It doesn't appear to me that you're going to have any relevance if it comes to the Secretary of National Defense, and he's in charge of procurement over $100 million or more. Because he doesn't want to come back and see you for any, because you hold the check, you hold the purse strings, but it doesn't seem like he is abiding by that.
Through you, Chair, I think I would ask, there is a check and balance, there is oversight, but for understanding of my colleague, I would ask Bill to explain that how that system works and how we can have that oversight on that. Thanks.
How much time do I have, Mr. Chair, just so I can give a good answer? Well, it's Mr. Gill's time. Okay, I'll be as quick as I can. The bottom line, as the Minister's already said, Treasury Board policies apply to all departments and special operating agencies, same rules. Special operating agencies can, though, as can departments, come in and ask for exceptions to Treasury Board policy, which special operating agencies have done in the past, so they can get additional authorities. This new organization will be bringing in their planned procurements to Treasury Board ministers for approval. We are hoping to streamline the way Treasury Board deals with these things, but it's still very early days for this new organization.
Thank you, sir, for that answer. I have a quick question for
Mr. Ali. The TBS paid KPMG $700,000 for advice on how to cut consultants. Why are you spending $6 billion more?
Through you, Mr. Chair, respectfully, I think you don't have correct information. This was not TBS. I could ask my deputy to shed light on this, please, to educate my colleague.
Certainly, there was one department that I'm aware of that did indeed engage a consulting firm for advice on how to reduce budgets. It was not Treasury Board Secretariat, as the Minister said. I'm going from memory. I believe it was Natural Resources Canada, and it was a few years ago. We should confirm that, though. But I can tell you...
I'm pretty sure it was Minister Anand who announced that they had hired consultants to provide advice on how to cut external consulting fees. I would appreciate that,
I'm
and
not
if you
aware of
could
that one.
provide that information, we'd appreciate that. Thank you.